And the last update we joyously want to give tonight is for our friend Aiden Blackburn. Aiden and I met over almost 2 years ago in Cincinnati Children's Hospital in Cincinnati. Aiden is from Indianapolis, Indiana, and he was the longest living child on the list at Mayo Clinic and who needed a kidney transplant. And currently, we can tell you he was transplanted a week ago Saturday, and he's doing very well, recovering at Mayo Clinic now. You can see him on the screen. And after 5 years of being on the list and a lifetime of kidney disease, Aiden, before his transplant, has never known a day in his life where he was actually healthy. He's only known the feeling of battling kidney disease his whole life. So now he's reaching something he's never known before, with the feeling of a healthy body. So we're just overjoyed tonight to tell you that Aiden Blackburn has successfully received a kidney transplant.
It's Monday, February 24th, and welcome to an encore edition of Drive for Life. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the inaugural episode of Drive for Life. I'm your host, Brian Martindale, and tonight we're coming to you from Lebanon, Indiana, just outside of Indianapolis, where we'll be joined by the family of Aiden Blackburn, who's 15 years old in desperate need of a kidney transplant. You'll hear his incredible story of courage and hope, and we hope that you will be motivated to become his life-saving living kidney donor. Here we are. So Ashley, can you tell me when Aiden was first diagnosed with kidney disease?
Yes, well, I was pregnant with him, and at my 20-week ultrasound, that's when they told me that one of his kidneys never developed.
Okay.
It had a bunch of cysts and it had blood flow blocked to it, so it was never going to function. We knew that. And then once he was born, they could determine what level of function the other kidney had.
One of Aiden's kidneys never fully developed in the womb, and at only 9 days old, it was determined that he had low kidney function and the beginning of chronic kidney disease. When did things really start to show up in Aiden as far as, the kidney disease being an actual disability?
Well, when he was very young, he needed a G-tube because he could never seem to get enough of an appetite to gain weight. And I think that was probably when I really noticed, he was my fourth child, so something was definitely different.
Right.
Because on the outside, he looked normal.
Mm-hmm. Aiden now relies heavily on his wheelchair and as well as a G-tube for his nutrition.
As soon as puberty hit, that was a really big time for him. Okay. He has really struggled with function of his kidney, and you can tell because he sleeps a lot.
Right.
His appetite has been very poor.
Mm-hmm.
He relies heavily on the G-tube for hydration, nutrition, things like that, where as more of like adolescent years, it wasn't as big of a deal as it is now.
So now Aiden is what age now?
15.
Okay. And we met when he was 13, and we watched him progress from there, looking energetic, let's say 2 years ago, to now using assistance. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, he's always had his wheelchair. He uses it when we go to the zoo or long distances. Mm-hmm. He does not do well with that. He gets very tired.
Right.
Very winded, very tired.
So energy level is easily sapped.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Now, where is he treated, first of all?
He's treated at Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota.
And anywhere else?
Nope.
Okay. Okay, so it is just Mayo then.
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure. So now, how often do you guys have to do this drive? You're here right by Indianapolis, and you're talking about Mayo. What is it like as far as going back and forth here?
It's at least 8.5 hours. That's if we don't stop to stretch our legs, go to the bathroom a lot, whatever we need to do on the road. So it's usually just a full day of travel, and then
8.5 hours each way,
yes,
plus the time of the appointment.
right.
So, and you do that in one day?
Well, we drive up in one day unless he's having a lot of leg pain,
Right. Okay.
which he does struggle with.
Right.
So when that happens, we'll get a hotel, usually about halfway.
Okay.
But if we can make it the full route, we try to do that.
Okay.
Imagine being a parent and having to drive your child 8.5 hours each way from Indianapolis to Mayo Clinic in Minnesota twice a month if it's a bad month. And knowing that a good day or a good month, you're still driving 8.5 hours each way once a month to save your child's life, basically, in Aiden's case.
It's a lot, I mean, for anybody.
It's very expensive because
Right.
it's out of pocket. I mean,
And it's something you regularly have to do. There's no
oh,
choice.
for sure. Yeah. It all depends on his labs. If labs look great, then, well, great for Aiden, then it's every other month.
Okay.
And then if we're having an off time where labs are looking a little shaky, maybe some, I don't know, things just don't look well, then it's every other week.
Okay.
So, and we've done both. Over the summer of 2020, we were there every other week for months.
And then, I mean, most parents can't imagine. That's why I wanted to ask you that question.
Yeah.
The all the effort that goes into Aiden's care from everybody concerned, you know, all that has to take away from family time, being able to work,
Oh, right.
and these type of things. I mean, is there does it put a burden on the family, you know, a struggle as far as all of this? What does all that entail for a parent, just a little bit?
It's very hard because as a parent, I want to be in two places at once, and obviously I can't do that. I have kids at home who need me, and then I have Aiden who is in Minnesota that needs me.
Right.
So I try to parent as best as I can.
With Aiden having 4 siblings, parenting can be very hard on mom and dad. How many siblings does Aiden have? For the audience?
Aiden is one of 5,
Okay.
so he has 2 brothers and 2 sisters,
Okay.
and he's the baby.
And he is the baby at
Yeah.
15.
He is.
All right. Let's go forward here. How about the last 5 years? The end here. How have the last 5 years been as far as this progression?
Things got very serious. He's been listed for transplant active. We had a period of time where he was inactive because his kidney function was just a hair above where they would consider him urgently needing a kidney. And unfortunately, you know how insurance works.
Right.
You don't always get to be active, but I think it was 2022, they decided we're going to go active again. And that's when we got really serious because we knew we had a lot of wait time under our belt already.
Which should push him up the list?
Yes.
Is that true?
Yeah. So we know that he is the longest, right? The longest pediatric patient who's waited for a kidney. So his name should be...
Aiden is now the longest listed pediatric patient in Mayo Clinic, having been listed for a full 5 years, waiting for a kidney transplant. But that's a lot because Mayo's a huge place.
Right. And they only do pediatrics at Minnesota. So,
Yeah, there are adults
Yeah.
that are down in like Phoenix and their other hospitals.
yeah, I think they have older facilities maybe?
Yeah, I know the one.
Sure.
They have the one in Phoenix.
Yeah, so I mean, he's waited a long time, but we have a lot of trust in his team. They know him very well, and they've done a lot of testing
Right.
to see exactly where his body's at. We did multiple tests on function because there are days where I'm in disbelief because he looks so good.
Aiden is currently down to 12% kidney function and very near the dialysis treatments he will need to save his life.
And I'm like,
the labs aren't right.
yeah, I'm like, something's off. And we did a totally different kind of test. They do the iothalamate and then they do the iohexyl.
Okay.
And both tests, we're in agreement that we are at 12% whatever kidney function he has.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just trying every avenue to say we have a little bit more time, but every test is telling us that we don't.
Right. As far
So,
as
it's
having
urgent.
to move to dialysis.
Yes, that's what Mayo's really wonderful about that. They're trying to avoid dialysis at all costs because it's so hard on the body.
Absolutely.
It is so hard.
Yeah, I
So-
mean, preemptive kidney transplant
Yes.
is what we all hope for because
Yeah.
of longer length of the kidney function afterwards and better chance of matching and no rejection.
Right, and the surgeon for Aiden told us there's a very small window of the preemptive and the dialysis, and Aiden is right there. So he is very, very strongly advocating that we find him a living donor. This is the time to do it because Aiden's recovery and his acceptance of the kidney will be better.
Right. If he was to get it before dialysis.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
Jessica did. 'Cause I've
Right.
got to watch that now for 12 years as of last month.
Yeah.
And the results are usually better and longer lasting kidney function. Yeah, less chance of rejection.
Yes.
So.
And his body will react better.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the closer match, obviously, the better from a living donor.
Right.
Or a deceased donor. How are you advocating and how would you encourage people, if they're watching this, what would a kidney donation do for Aiden?
Oh my goodness. I mean, it would save his life. 100%. I have a wrap on my car that I drive everywhere. If I go somewhere, I'm taking that car. And whether that's Chick-fil-A drive-through or to Minnesota to appointments, it's out there for the world to see. I have a Facebook page. I have just any social media. I have shirts I wear every day that say Aiden needs a kidney, and it's t-shirts, so it's winter, I need a sweatshirt now, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, he even wears shirts, and every time we go to the store or everyone sees our car, we are the only people in the store probably who have to wear a mask, and then they can read my shirt and know why, because the back of it says my son needs a kidney.
Right.
So we're doing everything we can, posting all the time.
Working with different organizations and
Yes.
everything you can.
The only thing I haven't been able to do that I would love to do is put him on a billboard. As many times as I travel up and down these interstates,
Right. Yeah, and that's
someone
become
would see
popular.
it.
Well, the family constantly advocates for Aiden with car signs, t-shirts, Facebook pages, and by participating in interviews like this.
Who's Aiden? And tell me a story, how can I help? Or, hey, I'm O positive. And then I'll just hand them the business card and it gives them the little QR code and they can go to his direct website and apply.
Okay.
And then I also attach a business card for him to the top of every cookie order that I do.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. I'm getting the word out somehow, some way.
Well, excellent. Thank you so much, Ashley, for talking to us. And dive into the universe of Karma Inc. apparel. Uncover the unparalleled t-shirt and hoodie designs from the Ultimate Graphic Collection. Not mere art. Each one is a statement of kindness, unity, and equality. Forge ahead with Karma Inc. apparel. But be aware, part of your purchase supports Kidneys for Kids. Indulge in good shopping at karmainc.apparel.org and let your fashion echo loudly. Karma Inc. apparel, the crossroads of style and compassion.
Welcome to the world of Great Lakes Shark Sock Company, a splash of brilliance born in 2016 in the heart of Pinconning, Michigan. Discover socks woven with loyalty, integrity, family, and an open mind. Each pair is a testament to unparalleled craftsmanship and design. With every purchase, you're supporting a nonprofit doing incredible work. Ready to make a difference? Dive into the collection at greatlakesshark.com. Make a statement, one pair at a time.
Aiden's kidney disease has affected his whole family. On the positive side, it has brought them closer together as a family unit to rally for Aiden and his need for a kidney transplant. On the other side, it's prevented them from being a family at things like family Christmas dinners and family functions like a family reunion, something most of us take for granted. Aiden's sister Kiara has done his kidney scans at Riley Children's Hospital in Indianapolis, and now has a hard time even locating his kidney when she does them. She's never seen a worse case of kidney disease.
So this is the kidney, this is like what you call the sinus.
Okay.
And that's what basically, is like the function of the kidney right there, like helps you function and everything. And this is Aiden's. You see how you could barely see it?
Oh yeah, no kidding.
They call that anechoic, is that right?
Yeah, like it's more isotopic, but you can see like that looks completely different. It doesn't even look like a kidney.
It doesn't even look like a kidney. You don't even know it's there. Unless you told me. You see.
Yeah, you don't even see anything.
Points,
The
and that's about it.
whiteness of it is the tissue dying.
Yeah, this is like his tissues dying. Like this is just.
Oh my.
It doesn't even look like there's anything there. Like I would not be able to see it if there wasn't that cyst right there. I would not. I'd be like, where is it?
Right, that's what I would say. Because you show me that, and I can't see anything at all. It actually looks like, you know, I see his shirt. It just looks like, there's nothing in there.
But that's a normal kidney that I see every day. And then when you look at Aiden's, they're like, what is that?
Wow. Kiara tested to donate, but because of being so petite, her kidneys were considered too small to be able to help. I mean, on a good day, even, how do you feel as far as, are you energetic?
A little, not as much as I used to be.
Okay. Go ahead. Oh, I thought you were going to say.
No, that's all I had.
So, you're 15 now, and you've been going through this most of your life. So, do you feel that this has become more of a burden in the last few years?
Yeah, a little bit.
How much do you sleep every day? Let's start with that.
Well, I got a record. I don't. It's a lot, probably.
Do you have to nap during the day? Do you get tired during the day as far as just your regular every day?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you find that, I mean, I know you use a wheelchair when you need to, but do you, I don't want to say this, do you feel that, you know, when you're seeing other kids and then you, I mean, how do you feel as far as, you know, do you wish you had that kind of energy type thing?
Yeah.
Do you feel a big difference as far as your friends?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. How do you feel today?
I guess pretty normal.
Pretty normal. I mean, physically, not emotion, but yeah. How do you feel as far as every day going through this? Do you see, or do you feel hopeful that this will end with a kidney transplant?
Yeah.
Okay. And how soon would you hope that would happen?
Soon.
Very soon.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you miss anything about things you like to do, maybe that you can't do now? What would those things be?
Probably sports. That was a.
Okay. What's your favorite sport?
I don't really have a favorite sport, but I did used to play soccer, so that was always a favorite.
Do you still kick a ball at all now, or do anything with soccer, or have you had to just kind of stop?
I do it a little bit, but not as much as I used to.
Okay. And you'd like to go back? Is that something that would be a favorite sport if you're healthy? Would you like to do that more than anything, or is there something maybe you haven't done that you'd like to do? How about that?
Probably something that I haven't done that I'd like to do.
Okay. And what would that be? Is there anything in your mind? You see something and, boy, I wish I could do that?
I don't know. Maybe baseball, probably.
Baseball. Hitting, pitching?
Hitting.
Okay.
That's probably.
Are you a fan of what team?
I don't really have a favorite team.
Okay. And any professional sports? Do you have any favorite teams? You watch football, basketball, baseball?
I sometimes watch football,
Okay.
So
Is it Indianapolis?
it's Colts.
Okay,
So
it's the Colts. I thought so. And then every day for for your parents and everybody, you're the one going through this, and obviously you have to be pretty strong just to get through your days and go to these appointments at Mayo and everything. So, what keeps you going? I mean, what you get up and you have to get in the car, and you have to go to Mayo again. What keeps you going through this?
well, sometimes it's these guys. Well, most of the time it's these guys. But
Yep.
there's also the hope that a kidney is coming. That's another one.
Absolutely.
That's probably the only two things.
Family and that wish for that kidney to come so everything can start again and you can be healthy.
Yeah.
Very good. How has it affected, how do you think this has affected Aiden's life, the kidney disease?
I don't think it's affected him as much as it could have, because this has been his whole life since the beginning. It's been kidney disease. So for those that maybe have a normal life and then become sick and transition into that disease state, that they know what it's like to be 100% and be healthy and enjoy life that way, whereas his 100% enjoying life has already been impacted. So I think the change is going to be most noted after the transplant.
This has been Aiden's whole life. He doesn't know what healthy feels like. Ashton, Aiden's father, says it bothers him most that he can't take the pain away from Aiden.
Hello, welcome to Gilly's Bistro. We're here on 3rd and Johnson Street on the Johnson Business District. We are here from Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Mi casa, su casa.
How have you advocated for Aiden?
Everybody I work with knows Aiden's story, knows any update that we find out about him, and they tell their families and friends as well.
Okay. And telling the audience tonight, I mean, what is your ultimate hope here?
To get a kidney for a transplant, and I wish it was yesterday.
Right.
I don't think it could be soon enough.
Going forward, what do you want to see for Aiden?
I think it's
All of the family functions that we don't get to go to because we have to
right.
become healthy.
Okay.
I think it has impacted not just Aiden's but everybody's life by we don't really get to go to like family Christmases or like Thanksgivings, like things you don't really think about that everybody else gets to go to, because we have to keep Aiden safe and not sick, because if he gets sick he ends up in the hospital, so we don't even want to chance that.
Aiden's kidney disease keeps him and his family from simple things that most of us take for granted, like a family Christmas, a family reunion, and most other family functions that are considered normal. Ashley, same thing. How has this ultimately affected things? How does it change the family's, structure and everything that you do?
The good side is we've become very close. We definitely are a lot emotionally more connected to each other because we understand the value of life. But the other side is we struggle a lot with going places or doing things as a family because Aiden is so medically fragile. And we want him to have the best life, but at the same time, we also want to protect his health. So we sit out on a lot of fun things where other families get to go do concerts or out to eat every Thursday or whatever the case is. We try not to do those things as much because if Aiden gets sick, then that automatically takes him off the transplant list for 30 days.
Right.
So that's 30 days that we could be recovered from a beautiful transplant.
Right. Absolutely. 30 days closer to a transplant.
Right, exactly.
That you haven't had to overcome and start back again.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us tonight. To our viewers, Aiden is just one of almost 2,000 children nationally waiting for a life-saving kidney transplant. You have the power to make a difference in his life. If you're moved by his story this evening and would like to learn more about living kidney donation, please visit kidneysforkids.org. If you're moved to test for Aiden and become his life-saving kidney donor hero, please contact Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota on behalf of Aiden Blackburn, born September 9th of 2009. Together, we can give Aiden a second chance he so desperately needs. Let's review Aiden's story from tonight. Now, Aiden and I personally go back to June of 2023 when I first met him at Cincinnati Children's Hospital. We had arranged a TV interview for him then. He was actually the first child interviewed on the 2023 Driving for Life trip. His interview did bring forward 2 possible kidney donors, but unfortunately they were both disqualified for medical reasons. In the meantime, we've tried to help Aiden through getting more press. We've created social media for Aiden in the form of the reel you'll see in a few moments. We've reached out with car signs. We talk to people on a regular basis and put Aiden's story out everywhere we can, just as we do all of our children at Kidneys for Kids. But Aiden is very important to us. After knowing him for almost 2 years, myself personally, knowing what he's gone through, you've seen in some of the photographs, in some of the story tonight, and hearing from mom and dad and family, he's progressed, from a child who's actually never known one day in his life what it's like to feel normal, to a child that's now 15, who I first met at 13 and seemed like an energetic young teenager, to today spending much of his days having to take naps, having to take breaks, using a wheelchair when he needs to go any kind of long distance, as well as relying for primary nutrition on a feeding tube. And imagine doing that now at 15 since he was young. Having a G-tube is no fun having placed in your abdomen and having it there at all times and knowing, most of the things that the people around you, watching your family enjoying, you can't have those things. That nutrition needs to come from something very highly nutritional and safe for you. So it's fed through a G-tube. So that's a daily thing. That's his heavy reliance on that, just to get by every day. And then think about the time he has to take with his family. If it's a good month, once a month, all the way, imagine, 17 hours of travel is no joke. Back and forth to one of the best clinics in the country and being the longest living kidney patient who's been listed as a pediatric patient at Mayo Clinic in Minnesota for 5 years now. And doing that once a month if you're good, twice a month, every other week, 17 hours of travel, staying overnight, and then try to have your parents both working full time. So family has to rely on one income, which means dad can't participate a lot of times in his traveling and be there for Aiden. And you've seen in the scenes you've just watched previously how that can make the family members feel, especially a parent, a mother or father. Imagine not being with your child, knowing the kind of pain they're going through and knowing the treatment they're going through while trying to stay off of dialysis to receive this life-saving kidney transplant. So everything you're seeing tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is all true, unscripted. This is Aiden Blackburn. This is his situation. He needs a living kidney donor today. Now, there are two ways you can donate to Aiden. One is directly. So if you contact his center at the Mayo Clinic, and you'll see the complete information at the end of this broadcast, and you find that you are a direct match and everything tested out where you're perfectly healthy and enough to donate your kidney to Aiden, you could be a direct donor like I was to my recipient, Jessica Shireen, 12 years ago. If you're not a direct match for Aiden, you can be watching anywhere tonight from anywhere in the country, not just the audience with us watching this live broadcast tonight premiering in our town. If you're watching on Roku tonight, if you're in Los Angeles, for example, you can go to the National Kidney Registry. First of all, go to kidneysforkids.org and hit the button to become a living donor right at the top. That'll take you to nkr.org. There you'll register to become Aiden's Living Kidney Donor Hero as a paired donor. What that means is you'll donate at a center close to you. You'll do your testing at a center close to you. Once you do your testing and you're completely approved to be his donor, you would donate at that center, and that would give Aiden a voucher. That voucher would be given by you, in this case, to save Aiden's life. And that credit he gets puts him to the top of the list, guaranteeing the next living kidney available goes to Aiden Blackburn. Ladies and gentlemen, if you can find that in your heart tonight, please go to kidneysforkids.org and register to the National Kidney Registry now. I thank you so much for joining us tonight. God bless, and we hope you'll join us again next week for another episode of Drive for Life.